Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Shalom and welcome to our Biblical Hebrew podcast. Today I would like to speak to you about the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Forgiveness. What is the relation between Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Atonement, or the Day of Forgiveness, and the building of spirit of man? Or how do we build the spirit of a man, and what this process has to do with the Day of Atonement? In Rosh Shana, the head of the year, the first of the 7 months from spring, some people celebrate the birth of a new year. In order that the time will be born, we need, so to speak, cut it from the infinite. Once we slice part of the infinite, we have a part or a slice called year. In Rosh Hashanah, a new lunar year is being born. A cycle of a lunar year is 355 days. But in the solar year, there are 365 days. So we have a gap or a problem. How can we bridge those two systems? And the sages explain us one simple thing. When we count 10 days from Rosh Hashanah, Aleph Tishrei, the first of Tishrei, and we count 10 days, we arrive at Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Atonement. And those 10 days, which are named also Binyan HaNukba, the building of the feminine part of us, in those 10 days, we are building the spirit of man in the year to come. How does such a thing can happen? A man, human, is considered to be a child of the moon. And as such, we're always lacking something. In some states, the whole economy runs on debt. You don't have money at the moment, we shall give you credit. And in the future, when you shall have money, you can pay it. This is that economy. Always something is lacking, because when a person has spirits, he lacks nothing. So how do we build the spirit of man, counting 10 days from Rosh Hashanah to Yom HaKippurim? Those days are considered to be very focused days in which we meditate on our temporal being here. And one day we shall move on, and there's no need to accumulate and to gravitate so much stuff around us. Not physical stuff, not attention, not self-importance. All of those things, when we contemplate about them in those 10 days, and we actually not just thinking about them, but practicing them in our daily lives, can build our spirit for the coming year. And what happens in the Day of Atonement, and the Day of Atonement is the crown, the human spirit can ascend the level or the spiritual level of the human, can ascend and reach the spiritual level of the Creator. Because when a person comes to this life and at some point understands that there is no use to hunt after things, to accumulate them, to establish a name, a reputation for himself, he can really transcend and ascend. So in Yom HaKippurim, in the Day of Atonement, we have an opportunity to be in the image of God. And what does it mean to have mercy? Now, an interesting anecdote. In the Day of Atonement here in Israel, secular children are riding their bicycles. Since in Day of Atonement here, cars do not drive over the roads, so the roads are open. And the Israeli children ride their bicycles because they have more space. Let's look at the shape of a bicycle to understand the symbolism of Day of Atonement. In a bicycle, we have two parallel wheels, front and the back. In the Day of Atonement, the moon, or the finite aspect of us, has the same spiritual level as the eternal aspect of us. This is what the bicycle's wheels are reflecting. Once we build the spirit of man in those 10 days, our spirit can transcend and arrives at the eternal. And this is a great relief, because in the eternal nothing is lacking. And here's a little anecdote as well. In these 7 months, people wish to each other, Shana Tova tikatevu v'techatemu. To a good year you shall be written and inscribed in the book of life. When we were children, we used to take chalks at the Day of Atonement and draw on the roads, because the roads are open. We used to write and draw as a natural movement from children who don't have any other outlet in this day when everything is locked down and from Corona. So we used to stream to the streets and just draw, infinite drawing. We were writing and drawing in the book of life because we were happy. So with this coming Day of Atonement, I wish us all infinite life, and that we shall be written and inscribed in the book of life. Amen.
Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to hear more about a certain topic, just write us an email to hebrew@learnoutlive.com. We are always happy to hear from you. For more episodes, videos, and articles like this, please visit our website at hebrew.learnoutlive.com. We also would like to invite you to join our live classes. Just search for Online College of Biblical Hebrew on Facebook and start learning now with students from all over the world. Koltuv and Shalom.